Hi, darling. Welcome to my safe space. So, I'm getting used to this new microphone. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, for me, I want to express a bit of my frustration today. My frustration started with a Twitter post that was a little, Twitter will always give you something to be offended by. So, this particular post in particular was talking about this guy was basically complaining about how girls don't know how to arch. And to me, it made me spiral into a deeper rabbit hole of other posts that I saw. I will just consistently be plugging them onto this video. So my biggest issue starts here. I have a huge frustration with adult content creators. My frustration isn't with the field itself because honestly, adult fun time content has always existed for a very long time. My issue is the lack of moderation. I don't know what's happening, but for me, I'm going to be boasting. I studied a bit of like psychology in my undergrad, so I have a BA in psychology. And with my understanding and what I am seeing happening on social media, I am deeply worried. Why am I worried? I'm worried because adult content creators do not moderate their content anymore. There is no reason why I should be scrolling on Twitter looking for birthday ideas and I'm gonna see pom pom and I'm gonna see like prick. I don't know if YouTube will allow that, but like, yeah, there's no reason why I'm on a platform looking for something else. It's so weird. I promise you, do this one thing. Go on Twitter, type any child friendly like word like birthday, sunshine, moon, whatever. And I promise you, these adult content creators will pop up somewhere. I don't have an issue with sex work. I don't have an issue with it. I have an issue with English darling. I have an issue with the proliferation whereby there's no escaping the content. When I was a kid, you had to literally be looking for the content, or it would be something you'd stumble upon. Like, I know that usually you'd stumble upon if you touched like an adult's phone or you found like a CD in your parents' room. But now there is literally nothing you can do to escape some of the OF dolls and Kens. Why am I looking for something irrelevant to corn and that's what's going to appear on my search feed? That is absolutely something that I'm getting annoyed by. It's not just annoyance. I think for me, I remember in undergrad, we did like a bit of evolutionary psychology, and there was something we talked about, like basically learning about the central nervous system and the human's reward system, basically dopamine. So for me, my understanding is there is something happening to our brains, even as adults. There's something happening to our brains with the constant stimulation with adult content that we did not request. Because for me, like I remember when I was younger, like it used to be so rare to see a naked human body that even if you saw it, it was a moment, it was kind of like a little jarring. You were so sensitive to seeing that. And my question being, from my understanding, is that what's happening mentally to, because I'm pretty sure most kids nowadays have cell phones, smartphones, whatever. And I'm asking myself, how do these kids feel? Like, what's happening to them mentally if they are going to go on social media platforms and jump into content like that? Like, you literally could be searching for anything. You could search for popcorn. You could search I don't know, bubble gum. You could be searching any simple thing, and some adult fun time content will be appearing. I'm asking myself, what's happening to the younger generation mentally. And I do believe that there's a deeper correlation with this and why so many people and so many relationships don't work out. I know I'm going to ramble, but what do I mean by that? I just mean that if I remember, like from stories that I learned from adults and my grandparents, seeing your partner's naked body or a woman or a man's naked body came from the effort of you courting someone and you having like to court and go on dates and build rapport with that person. And that was like the reward eventually was that you'd get into a relationship and you'd get to see each other without clothes on, which is like what I've understood throughout time and romantic movies. But I'm asking myself, what kind of generation are we building if adult content creation has no moderation? I don't have an issue with adult content creators at all. For me, it's like, that's your career, girl. Do what you got to do. I understand the economy is bad, but there are certain content creators who are just posting content and using keywords, innocent keywords. Before there used to be like a very like explicit keywords that you'd use for adult fun time content, but now it's like you don't have to use the keywords, and that's what scares me. It scares me because we're already seeing some of the effects. I'm seeing it like, for example, I'm going to relate it to dating because dating is the most common thing. I'm seeing that with the younger generation of boys that are coming up and men, they have less motivation. They have very little motivation to try and court women. Doesn't mean they don't, they still do, but now it's not as frequent. People don't meet to social gatherings. People don't go to social gatherings. Why? Because our dopamine is fried. Young people's dopamine is fried because we are so exposed to too much and at unregulated dosages. So, if you think about dopamine, for example, the human body basically gets dopamine from doing something and the reward, doing something pleasurable, and the reward being dopamine. And as human beings, our brain is constantly searching for the pleasure, constant pleasure. So, my worry is if we are desensitized so much already to seeing so many naked human bodies, what's going to happen with the younger generation coming up if from a young age they've been exposed to explicit content without consent? Like they're just being basically being traumatized. They're just being bombarded with this explicit content and there's no escaping it because even on platforms like TikTok, a lot of OF creators will put in their links to their adult fun time pages. And we know TikTok and a bit of Instagram is something a lot of young kids use, young teenagers and young adults. My worry is that it's literally everywhere. So I ask myself this question. If already we are having a generation that is desensitized to seeing naked human bodies and we see it, people want more performative acts of intimacy, more intense, more what is this? More exclusive, more exotic, more like you need more because you've been overexposed. You get what I mean? Like I just mean that you've been exposed to normal naked bodies that I'm asking myself, by the time these individuals grow from children, teenagers, and adults, what will be their appetite? Yes, there are people with self restraint, but what happens to the kids who don't have self restraint and they're seeing this content? They're very young, going through hormonal changes, and they're seeing this explicit content. What is going to happen to their taste levels? We're already seeing it. Men now are kind of scared to approach women. Young men don't approach women as they used to be in the past. Like social media, one thing, and also because what's the point of? I can understand it from a logical space of What's the point of you approaching a girl if you can see a girl naked already online? It's easier, it's less resistant to find the content online than approaching and asking her for a date or something. So that's where I have a problem. What's going to happen? For example, we already have the alleged P Diddy situation. And why do I use P Diddy? P Diddy for me is an example of the wealthy, the overexposed. I feel like some wealthy people have access to so much exotic and new experiences. And what is this word? I forgot the word, but something exclusive, something just like you cannot get anywhere. It starts with an N. So yes, people like P Diddy, these people have discovered so many novel acts that they crave more. For me, I think for him, his case is more mental, allegedly, and I just feel like he's been exposed to so much explicit adult fun time that his taste and appetite has grown to become something else. And my worry is, are we building a generation of kids who are overexposed to explicit content to a point that even if they do get into a relationship, normal intimacy as adults, they wouldn't, I feel like they wouldn't want normal intimacy as adults because some of them have been exposed, and especially if we specify it, specifically the young men, the young boys who are, even the young girls who find that content, who consume that content that pops up randomly. Um, or now, because it started by popping up, they might even develop an addiction to the dopamine of seeing that type of content. My worry is what is going to be their appetite when they get older. Are they going to want to do the more noble or no novel or more extreme stuff? Like, I'm worried and I'm frustrated with the adult content creators because I'm just like, girl, I get it, you want to make money, but there's no need for your keywords to be normal keywords where kids can access your content. I'm just like, yeah, we can say parents need to put parental control on this kids' phones or whatnot. But we all know, like, parents, there's so much, there's kind of a limit. Like, because I know as a kid, I always rebelled to certain things. There's things that even if my parent can control what's on my phone, my friends and all that, I'm just talking from a place of worry about what kind of generation are we building if they are so overexposed, not only to the adult content as well, but graphic, violent content without searching for it. Before, the internet used to be a maze that you had to search, you had to find keywords to find like disgusting or scary things or adult fun time things. But now it's like you don't even need to be doing that. And Twitter, even if you can't even parentally filter it. So, darlings, I don't know. I wanted to rant about this because it's something I'm seeing and it's increasing, and I'm just like, can the adult content creators like, girl, especially the ones who they are ones who are doing it correctly by creating a paywall to see more. But what about the God, there's no reason why I should be seeing pom pom and sausage for free, especially if I'm not looking for it. So, yeah, darlings, have a beautiful day, night, or evening, wherever you are. And if you have your own opinion on this, do comment, do leave your opinion. If you disagree with me, girl, I mean, I'm open. I'm open. Ew. I'm open to hearing different perspectives and something that might change my mind. I just feel like The other content creators, you guys need to slow it down. Close your legs. Okay. Bye bye, darlings.